This episode is brought to you by SCENTBIRD, the luxury perfume and cologne subscription service. Get 50% off your first scent when you visit scentbird.com/theknow. Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley. We reported earlier this week that the ad-free days for Twitch Prime are about to be over. The streaming service announced it's going to get rid of ad-free viewing for new Twitch Prime members starting next month, and existing ones will start seeing ads on October 15th. Well, some Twitch streamers are also not too pleased with that decision, so they're joining all the Twitch Prime users. And Kotaku Australia reports that some streamers are now turning off ads on their channel as a result to protest the change. Meanwhile, some are questioning Twitch's rationale that allowing more ads will benefit streamers. Former Twitch Vice President Justin Wong tweeted, "Partners don't see any direct benefit from the Twitch Prime ad-free removal. There are possibly indirect benefits depending on whether viewers will subscribe to avoid ads. In other words, the benefiting creators shtick is BS." For Honor is currently free on Steam, and it's seen its player count shoot up as a result. The game's starter edition is free for a limited time. That is, it's free to get. Once you have it, you get to keep it forever. And it looks like it's convinced a lot of people to at least try out the action combat game. For Honor got a lot of praise when it released last year for its medieval multiplayer combat, which feels really great, but when it launched, it also had a ton of issues ranging from connectivity to microtransactions to the usual glitches and balance issues with its fighters. At one point, the game quite famously lost 95% of its player base, but people love free stuff, and according to Steam charts, the game recently hit an all-time peak of more than 216,000 players. So, hey, what's up 95%? The last time we checked, it was the 5th most popular game on Steam, ahead of games like Rainbow Six Siege and GTA 5. See if it can keep that momentum going, but this is a nice bounce back for the game, and the game has made a lot of changes since its release that have really pleased the player base, so hopefully all these new players will also be pleased. A U.S. Congressman apparently has quite the gaming habit. Representative Duncan Hunter of California was recently indicted on a number of charges that involved improper use of about $250,000 in campaign funds, and this gets gaming related, I promise. Part of that, according to federal officials, was that about $1,500 was spent on Steam games. Look, it is kind of nice to hear that lawmakers are just like us and all that stuff. They'll spend way too much money on video games and so on, but you're not supposed to use that money for Steam. No word on which games they bought, but Hunter's campaign account was charged 68 times for games between October 13th and December 16th, 2015. The highest amount was $96 in one case. I'll bet they got a deluxe edition or something. So we'll see. We've reported on this before when it initially came up that there were accusations about these campaign funds being used improperly, so we'll see what actually comes out of this. But hey, just like us. We got some NPD sales numbers for July. The headline is that Octopath Traveler was the top selling game for the whole month. It was followed by the old favorite GTA 5, which will never leave charts ever. Meanwhile, Mario Tennis Aces, which was the top selling game in June, dropped down to 10th place, and the Switch was the top selling console for the month in terms of number of units sold for the 7th month since it launched. It also led all other consoles in overall dollar amount, which is the first time this year that's happened. But the PlayStation 4 is still the top seller for 2018, and sales of Xbox One are up 60% year to date, so Microsoft's got to be pretty happy about that, but it seems like a pretty good year all around for all the consoles so far. The newest game from director Hidetaka Miyazaki is due out next year, but people still keep asking, is he gonna make another Dark Souls? Well, the answer continues to be no. From Software representatives were at Gamescom to show off Miyazaki's new action game, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. VGT47 asked From Software representative Yasuhiro Kitao about future games, and they responded, as far as Miyazaki has said in interviews previously, the Dark Souls series is finished. Then they added, that said, we do want to keep creating these fresh experiences and just games we want to make, so please stay tuned. So there you go. They aren't, but they are, however, putting out a Dark Souls trilogy bundle with all the DLC for every game, and that's due out October 19th. It was, just a few days ago, Nintendo announced a bunch of indie games coming to the Switch in a kind of surprise video. They just sort of dropped without warning. Now, apparently they got more in store for us, but they're telling us this time. Nintendo of America tweeted this morning they're planning another Nindies showcase with multiple unannounced indie games coming to the Switch. It's taking place on August 28th, which is a Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. That's our time zone. That'll be 12 p.m. Eastern. It'll be 9 a.m. Pacific. The last video announced a ton of indies coming to Switch, including the roguelike space shooter Everspace Stellar Edition, PC card game Slay the Spire, a bunch more. It'll be really interesting to see what else they've got in their pocket. They have stated they have some pretty steep goals for getting a lot of indie games on the system, so this is just like more of that lineup, I guess. Filming is currently underway on Quentin Tarantino's late 60s set sprawling epic Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but doesn't mean we've heard the last about a weirdo casting in the movie. Tarantino said this will be a film in the vein of Pulp Fiction in that there will be some core characters, but it will also be filled with a plethora of recognizable faces that show up for maybe just one scene. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are starring as a washed-up actor and aging stuntman, respectively, who are in the orbit of Sharon Tate just before she's killed by the Manson family. Margot Robbie is playing Tate, and the rest of the cast is diverse and nutty and actually just got a little bit crazier. Controversial girl star Lena Dunham has signed on for an unspecified role, and she joins supporting players like Al Pacino, Burt Reynolds, Timothy Olyphant, Dakota Fanning, Tim Roth, Michael Madsen. Of course Michael Madsen is in it. And Luke Perry. Yes. Yeah, Luke Perry, that's right. We also, we kind of have to assume Samuel L. Jackson will pop up somewhere as well. I mean, it's not a true Tarantino film without Samuel L. Jackson in the mix somewhere. Sony Pictures will release Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, July 26, 2019. Also, you may remember that the powers that be were developing a TV series spin-off of the cult classic Galaxy Quest, and we've kind of been waiting to hear anything about that for so long. Funny man Paul Scheer was leading the charge on that project, which was announced back in 2015. It got a little bit of steam in 2017 and is now on hold. Not dead, mind you, but on hold. So one step up from dead. Scheer told The Wrap that when Paramount TV president Amy Pascal was fired recently after making some insensitive comments that threw everything into chaos. So everything changed up. Scheer says they're ready to go whenever all the exec drama settles down, and said his approach to this Galaxy Quest series was to do it a la The Force Awakens. That is, continue the story, but introduce a whole new cast of characters. Oh, by Grabthar's hammer, I hope he succeeds. I love that movie so much. Famous composer Hans Zimmer has announced he'll be writing all the music for the upcoming Wonder Woman 84. Zimmer, famous for, well, a ton of scores, Pirates of the Caribbean, the Christopher Nolan Batman scores, didn't work on the first Wonder Woman, but it was his electric guitar riff in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice that's been used as a Wonder Woman's theme ever since, so gonna count it. I'm sure you could have some fun with an 80s set Wonder Woman score. Just imagine him going, oh, for synth power rock sound. He's already got the electric guitar in there, so we're set there. This is gonna mark Zimmer's return to DC after letting his protege, Rupert Gregson Williams, take lead on the first Wonder Woman film. When everything went to shit on Justice League, Joss Whedon stepped in and nixed Junkie XL's score, bringing Danny Elfman in at the last minute. This is all wobbly bits. Things have settled down a little bit over there. Now Zimmer has all the time he needs to build a fresh score. Wonder Woman 84 doesn't come out till November next year, so he does have the time. I'll be really curious to see what he does. I gotta say, I really loved Gladiator's score, so I got hopes. Anyway, that's all the news for this roundup. Let us know what you think of all these updates in the comments down below. To make sure you get all the crazy news from every corner of the internet every weekday, like this video, and if you're new here, subscribe to The Know. Shout out to SCENTBIRD.com for sponsoring this update. SCENTBIRD is a luxury perfume and cologne subscription service that lets you choose a new scent to try every month with more than 500 scents from designer brands like Prada, Gucci, Kate Spade, Nest, and more. It's very fancy. Perfume, kind of one of those things that can be overwhelming when you try it at first. If you were anything like me, that experience would have been in the middle of a department store where there are a million scents competing for your attention. It's hard to smell anything, your nose kind of dies. Anyway, with this subscription, you can try different ones each month and then take the time to decide what really works for you. Each spray lasts at least 30 days. It's 130 sprays in total, so you get plenty of use before then you try another one. I've tried a few of them out. I like that I can use them without committing to a full bottle because 1, those can get very expensive, and 2, I'm not guaranteed to love it forever. So this is a good solution. For example, we're going into autumn now. What if I want to change to an autumn scent? I can do that. A SCENTBIRD subscription is $14.95, but you can get 50% off your first scent when you visit scentbird.com/theknow or use offer code THEKNOW.